perspective. So we can combine these together right now. Linear perspective, you know, all the lines converge to a vanishing point in the background. Arrow perspective is what? No, that's sfumato. The colors get lighter. You have a vocabulary in your packet. The colors get lighter in the background. So in this case, there is no linear, there is no arrow perspective. You get a flat wall of red. And again, can you see that? Can you really see that? Your eye isn't going to the back. It's just this, it's like a big red wall of red. What do you want to say there? What? No, somebody raise their hand. I'm hearing too many voices. What you have to add something, you lose about 3 points. Yes. Good. When you're talking about that flat wall of red, you are going to show me you remember what you learned before. He's a post-impressionist. He uses color for emotion. Okay? That's a complete answer. Who is calling me? Oh, wait a minute. Go ahead.
What's linear perspective?
Linear perspective, again, go to your vocabulary that's in your packet and in your textbook, but linear perspective, all the lines go to a vanishing point in the background. It's very traditional. You always have to be in the middle, and you look straight ahead, and all the lines converge to the background. Aerial perspective means the colors get lighter in the background. Both of them give you a sense of three-dimensional space. What you saw happen in the 19th century was they're tilting the perspective. Now, you don't have to write this, but why? See, this is what happens when we just memorize. Because you can answer one part of the question right, and I'll give you another question that really deals with the same thing, and you don't make the connection. You know why. Why is a perspective in the 19th century not going back this way, but starting to tilt upwards? The camera influence. You can climb up on a building and shoot down. You can lie down on the floor and shoot up. So they're not so interested in linear perspective. So, who was Hokusai? I gave you this question because we talked a lot about Japanese prints, and I wanted you, because the page number is right on that page, page 37. Did anybody bother to look up to see who Hokusai was? He created the wave, one of the most famous of the Japanese prints. He's probably the most famous Japanese printmaker of the 19th century. It wasn't necessary to go into his whole life story. Most of our discussions have been based around the influence of the Japanese print in the 19th century. So I just wanted to see if you would go to your textbook, get that information. That's all I have to say. He was the most famous printmaker, Japanese printmaker of the 19th century. Okay. What? Printmaker in the Japanese printmaker of the 19th century. Oops. Oh, it won't work. I could do this. Okay. Under color, and your on page 40, what is it? 43. Okay. You have Syrah on the left-hand side, and you have a Renoir. But I had told you in class I wasn't showing you that picture. I'm using nude in the sunlight because it's better. I think you can see things more clearly with this. I'm giving you Renoir's name. I'm giving you the title of the work on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, you do not have to know the title of this. I will write it down Sunday afternoon on the island of Grand Jatte, but I want you to know the artist's name. Tell me why. What's his name? It's written right down there. Syrah. Why is he important? Do any of you remember what I said about him? Yes, Gary. He's the third founding father of modern art. Okay. Now, so what you're going to do, and your answers, listen to me, your answers have to be on the proper sides or the whole thing is wrong. Please don't put me in a position of doing a really good test and then you didn't listen to directions and you did that part wrong. There is no reason. What you should do, this is just advice, you don't have to take it, but you should have a big colored marker, and for Sarah's work, because you know we're going to talk about dots, you should take a colored marker and put dots all over that page in your packet. These are long, loose brush strokes. Those are dots of color. So there's no way anybody should get mixed up on which side is which. So you're going to have to identify the application of paint, explain it, and the significance of that application. So start with the one on the right. What's the term to use? Optical mixing. Somebody give the definition of optical mixing. How about somebody in the back? All right. Somebody want to give you the definition of optical mixing? Who has it? Down. No. Okay, please do.
You would take pure yellow from the tube and put it in a long, loose brush stroke on the canvas. So because yellow and blue make green, you get pure blue from the tube and put it in a long, loose brush stroke near the yellow so your eyes do the optical mixing screen.
Very good. And what's the advantage? The colors remain pure and bright and unmuddied. Okay, do you all have that? Okay, let's do it again. Okay, look at the one on the right. Be looking at it instead of your head down. Okay, for optical mixing, and I use the color green, but please be aware it can be any color combination you want to make another color. It could be a red and blue together to make purple. It could be yellow and whatever, red to make orange, whatever. But I use green because I think it's really easy. But you take the first color and you put it directly onto the canvas in a long, loose brush stroke. Exactly what she said. You take the second color, which in this case would be blue, and you would put it directly next to the yellow. The eye optically mixes to see the green. It's not mixed on the canvas. It's not mixed on a palette. They're side by side. And when you do that, you get pure, bright, unmuddied color. That's a complete answer. Now, before I go to the next one, that's why I made that comment to you that I didn't like oil painting. When I had to take all the studio requirements, I didn't tell you that just to pass the time away. I can't mix colors. Everything I mix turns brown. Well, the impressionists go outdoors. They want their paints to look fresh and pretty. They know scientifically that if you mix them, you're going to muddy them. So they understand optical mixing. Okay. Now, the one on the left-hand side, what is the term? Pointillism. Explain. It's a lot quicker. Explain pointillism. Yes.
I just had scientifically measured circles of color placed side by side in canvas.
And the advantage or the importance? Go ahead. It's a precursor. So scientifically measured circles or dots of color. And there are lots of different colors. Remember I said I saw this last May. The Chicago Institute of Art. It's a huge canvas. Can you imagine this whole thing is made up of scientifically measured circles of color placed side by side? Okay. That is a precursor to pixels on a TV screen. Do you have any questions on that? Yes?
Can you repeat that definition real quickly?
Of this one? Okay, pointillism. It's also called divisionism, but it's scientifically measured circles of color, underlined scientifically, placed side by side on the canvas. That's the definition. Now, the importance of that, it's a precursor. If people think that art isn't as academic as physics, science, it's not true. Because what they're doing is a precursor to what we know today to be the pixels on a TV screen.